What's up, guys? Welcome to the show. My name is Cheptoek Boyo, and today we have Daddy Owen mwenyewe, yani veteran in the industry. Karibu sana Daddy Owen.
Asante. Unafanya na feel so old. You know, kuna wazee washaanza kubandika. Unasikia legendary, veteran. You just sound like
yes.
Zilizopendwa.
Yeah, fana. I think mature musician.
Yeah.
Yes.
No, it's
inaka wisdom.
No, it's fine.
But then you're veteran inaka mingi na hiyo.
But I like it. To be honest, I've been here more than 20 years. No,
you're a veteran.
Yeah. I like it. I like it. Mimi gwiji. I like it.
Gwiji kabisa.
I like it.
Sasa, I know most people don't know that your first job was a matatu designer.
Yes.
How did you get into that?
This is very interesting. What I discovered is so many musicians are very good graphic designers or painters or guys who know how to draw. Yeah. Because I know King Kaka is very good. I know Nameless is very good. So I came to discover that most of us we are multi-talented with other talents that maybe wangas mejificha. So most people don't know that before I became a musician, I used to be very good with graphics. And just to enhance that point, in Form 4 in school, there was a competition those days. What were 90s one as I joined Kiwi Paint and Win. So this competition was a competition you can find nationwide, and they encourage students from different schools. They give you a theme, and then they tell you to paint, and then you send it for a draw, and then they announce the winner. And the winner used to walk away with around 80,000, those things, TVs, dinner, and all those things.
80,000 then ilikuwa a lot of cash.
Yeah. And I remember I became number one.
Hey,
countrywide.
So wewe you're doing
I became number one countrywide, and I even paid my own school fees. So from me sikulipia school fees na mzazi, nijilipia my own school fees. And I became number one. And it's very interesting because even my brother after me, the previous year, that was 98, he was number one, number two across the country. Yeah. So you see, it's a talent that is running across
within the family.
So, and after high school, I was more of, I'm looking for something to do. You know, when you're 20, 21 or 19, you always feel like you want to find your own path.
Yeah.
More so if you know you are good maybe academically, but you're not perfect. But you have other talents that you feel like you can expound on. So I knew I was very good at basketball.
Yeah.
I knew I was very good in football. I knew I was very good when it comes to painting. At the same time, I knew I want to become a musician. So before I became a musician, because at that time my bro Rafton was already doing music, was in secular music.
Yeah.
And he was already doing music. It was very, very expensive those days to enter into music. So I was like, let me use my talent, what I can, to raise at least money for me to go to a studio.
Yeah.
So I started designing matatus at 2M. It's called 2M. Those days we used to have guys like Catskill, 2M, and then we used to have designers like Elijah, and then of course Moha Graphics. We used to work with Moha Graphics there. Yeah.
So what was the main designs that people liked in the matatus then?
Was it very
still celebs? Ama ilikuwa different?
Yeah. It's the same thing. People used to love, because it was like a copy and paste. In front, you must put a very nice name, but it's like we used to call it like a sub name for the matatu. But on the sides now, the name of the matatu, like matatu can be, for example, tukonaita kama overload, ama overdose. So, and then on top, there's a guy called Elijah. All his matatus on top pale nyuma juu ilikuwa ngana quote ya Bible. It's a must for Elijah. And then on the sides, you have to pick designs. There was a time where there were so many designs, so many colorful designs, and then it was outdated. Then we came back to like one design, but that looks very mature, but now colorful wordings on it. And then, of course, there's nothing new I'm seeing in the market right now. Everything that we're seeing in the matatu craze right now is all those things we saw when I used to do graphics. Yeah, because I started with putting tint. Hapo ndo nilianza kujifunza, and then now I started using airbrush. airbrush slowly. Then I converted now to become like a full designer. But of course, the most boring part was when someone sees a design like a web. When there's a web design, you design a matatu with using the spider web, and then everyone wants the same design. So because for me, I used to feel like it limits my creativity. I want to be creative to a level whereby I give you a web, tomorrow I give you a different design. I can give you a drip, I can give you rainfall, I can give you all these designs. Yeah.
But sasa being in this matatu industry, why did you not venture fully? When ununue matatus na uendelee? Because already you have the secret of the industry.
Yes. When I ventured into music, music is very interesting. I always tell people, music is like a woman.
Hey.
Yeah, music is like a woman.
Explain.
Music needs your attention. If you don't give music your attention, yani it fades and it dies and it lives and it goes to someone else. That's music.
But yako haija fade considering umechukua a break.
Yes, it's a hiatus, but now the difference is it's still calling for the attention. You understand? But unasema Owen, if you want me back, I want to see your seriousness. That's how music operates. It's really hard for you to juggle music with something else. It's really, really hard. Even right now, let me give you a good example. Someone like Calligraph Jones, someone like Nyash, someone like BN, you can see how much effort they put in their music. That's why they are where they are right now.
Consistency and
music
constantly churning out.
Music is jealous. Eesh. Music is very, very jealous. If you don't give it attention, it departs. It leaves.
And you have described this music as a human being.
I'm so serious because I've been here for so long. I know how it works. I know how it operates. I know how it thinks. Yeah.
Well,
there's no two way around it. Yeah, that's music. If you want to become an established artist, you have to treat it like this is your career, this is your job. Kitambo ama sometimes people still perceive music as kitu ya wahuni, you understand? It's not like a serious career. Can't tell, because I remember kitambo when I used to katia madem anakuza, so what do you do apart from music? I'm like, there's nothing else I need to do apart from music. I do music. Why should I do something else apart from so that question really, any question unibo sana. I don't understand when people ask you, apart from music, what else do you do?
I can answer for women. Security. Because unaona msanii song isipo hit, hamukuli chakula, school fees hailipwi. Song asipokuwa as popular as, let's say, the Kenyan bigs, wewe akina BN, akina Nyashinsky, unajua hiyo sasa hiyo life mtakuwa tu na shida nyingi. So hence unafanya nini apart from music?
No. Let me something. I think the biggest issue with celebrities is not even about the security. I think the biggest issue inakuanga financial literacy. So many celebrities, that's why unasikianga story, sijui alichukua sijui deni ya mtu alikuwa juzi on top sayana ameishiwa. It's only because of financial literacy. You see, the difference between someone who went to school, they joined campus, they malized campus, they picked a career like let's say journalism.
Yeah.
They started working as interns, and then from there they moved up the rank. They became like main anchors or presenters. You understand? The difference is, most of these guys, maybe a pharmacist, maybe a doctor, maybe a nurse, or even a teacher, is that the moment they get the first job, they know the amount of money they're going to be getting every month.
Yeah, so it's consistent.
So they are taught discipline with this 5,000. You understand? This 5K, someone is around 23, 24, knows how to use this 5K. Anajua hapa ndachukua nyumba 1,500, ndakuwa natumia fare sijui 1,000. You understand? Someone understand that, and they discipline themselves to another level. By the time they reach a point where they start earning 100,000, they have financial discipline. They have financial literacy. They know, I know how to live within my means.
Yeah.
The difference between celebrities and these other guys is that celebrities, you're 21, 22, you're just trying out something, and then you maybe umeangukia ngoma. Hata cha hivyo. Nowadays, even TikTok,
yeah,
it makes celebrities overnight. So one day unasikia tu mtu sijui amelia, and then kesho amekuja amekuwa celebrity,
yes,
and then unaona anapata endorsements. In a few weeks or months, this guy ameshaanza ku earn from betting companies. Unasikia mtu analipwa every month, analipwa ama mpo endorsement ya 300,000, 500,000. So the worst thing is this guy comes from 0 to 300,000, and they believe this 300,000 is their career, and this is how their career looks like. They don't see it as one day it will drop.
Yeah,
you understand?
Yeah.
So they start living a life of 300,000. This person anachukua nyumba ya 100,000 rent, umeelewa?
Yeah.
Anachukua financing ya gari, analipanga every month, analipa kama 50,000. You understand? So this person lives like that, not knowing that it's just a span of, it's just an highlight.
Actually, it's just a few months.
It's just a few months.
Because how can you sustain the crying?
You understand? Yeah?
How many variation of crying?
You understand? Yeah?
Are you going
Nowadays,
to do?
I see even guys who are just famous for being famous. Like
Yes.
if you ask someone exactly what does this guy do, they'll tell you, I don't know, I just know he's famous. So we have people who are just famous for being famous.
Yeah.
And I know it's a good thing. I appreciate that. But I wish one day someone can come up with an idea of how people or celebrities or such people in the same sphere can have what we call financial literacy, because it's not sustainable to live like that. So that's the difference.
Yeah.
Someone who is a doctor, ataanza na pesa kidogo until siku atakuwa anapata 300,000, ameshajua how to discipline himself with that 300,000, and they can make a living and make something good out of their lives with that 300,000. Whereas a musician can make a lot of money in a span of like 1 year, but the next year they're broke.
Yani imeisha.
Yes. So when you talk about security, it's more about financial literacy than just security. So I know there are musicians, I know so many, even right now, they live through music and they live a very good life.
Yeah.
They kami sahi nasema niwe, let me wacha nijitumia kama example. I've done so many investments here and there, but like you said, it came at a cost. I had to be in a ditch or in a deep somewhere to understand that this is not sustainable. So I had my lesson to learn.
What was this lesson? Enye likufanya you wake up and invest?
Oh my. So many things. Of course, it's now public knowledge that my marriage collapsed. And one of the reasons that really affected me even after my marriage collapse is the lack of understanding that there's so much I need to put in place. You understand?
Yeah.
I hate using that word because I understand. You understand? It looks weird. Stuck to it.
Yes, I understand, Owen. I understand.
So, there are so many milestones in your life that will make you get that knowledge that there are things you have to tweak and there are changes that you have to make in your life for so many things to readjust to be the way you want. Because there are lessons that as a man you'll go through without knowing. It just hits you. Yeah. There are others, you can smell the rat. You can smell, something is coming. Yeah. So those lessons in life, they're the ones that made me understand and realize whatever I have right now is called social capital. So how do I convert my social capital into something tangible and something, how can I convert, how can I monetize what I have? Yeah.
Now, you recently said gospel is not dead. Na pia uka-release a new song.
Yeah.
Neno litasimama.
Yep.
What should we expect from you from now, this point moving forward in terms of your music?
Like I said, music is very jealous. So I've decided what I lied to myself one day is that I can venture into other businesses and thrive without my social capital. Then I discovered I really still need my social capital.
Yes.
I just need to make sure that my brand as Daddy Owen doesn't fade, because 99% of Kenyans who know me, they know me through my music. Yes. So as much as I do other businesses, no matter how many offices I knock, the doors I knock in these offices, the moment they open, they're like, oh, Daddy Owen. So it's important for me to make sure that my brand as Daddy Owen doesn't fade away. That's why I'm like, why can't I just go back to what I know best? And music is what I know best. No matter how many other businesses I've tried, music is still what I know best. Yeah. It's something that I can do with my eyes closed. So from now henceforth, I'll use a very good term. I want to be very consistent, making sure that every month I release something new. Every month I want to be releasing something new every month. And I'm not in competition with anyone, because I've been there, done that.
Yeah,
I don't need to prove to anyone that I can release good music, I can top the charts, I can become big, I can have a monster hit. I'm not chasing that. You see, the moment you are at the peak of your career, your biggest challenge is always you to better your monster hit. Yeah. So you always live with pressure. That's why so many musicians end up using drugs and all that, because the pressure is, can you better?
Can you beat?
You understand?
Yes.
Can you beat your best song? And you see, sometimes it's not as easy as people think.
Yeah.
There's no way you can sit down and say, I'm going to write a hit song. There's no...
You don't know.
You don't know. There's no ingredient for a hit song.
Yeah.
You get, yeah? There are elements that if you can use, can make a hit song. But there's no exact ingredient to make a hit song. So at your peak, the pressure is always... when will I? So you always start second guessing yourself. You're like, is this better than the other song? Is it? But even the other song that you did, you don't know what you did for it to become what it is. So that's the same thing. Where I am right now, I'm not in search of that. I just want to do, number one, I enjoy what I do. I really enjoy when I'm in studio. That's the best moment of my life. I love being in studio. Number two, what I do, I know my why. My why is spreading the word of God. You understand? Yeah. I know my why. My why is not hitting. My why is not millions of views. My why is spreading the word of God. And spreading the word of God has no limit. There's no retirement for it.
Yeah.
You do the work of God till you die. So there's no retirement to it. So for me, there's no way I'm going to retire from spreading the word of God. And coming back to your point, the gospel is not dead. Gospel will never die. Gospel is the word of God. So I hear people say, hey, gospel is not sick, or even, but I'm like, it's just a phase where things are not as people expect, but the music is there.
Music is there.
Yeah, Akina Moji are doing great things. Akina Guardian are doing great things. Akina Nigeria are doing great things. And I thank God for that. So I love what I do, and I'm here to stay.
Malaika Disability Foundation.
Yes.
What does the organization address? What issues?
Okay. So when I started Malaika, it's very interesting. I had a campaign. When I released my song Mbona with Deno, I had a campaign called Mbona Campaign. So the campaign was just to highlight the people with disability who have different talents, different capabilities, but no one is giving them any highlights, or no one is showcasing whatever they do.
Yeah.
So my idea was just to showcase the guys who have different forms of disability and bring them to limelight, to the light. But eventually I was like, I can't sustain a campaign for too long. You know, campaign is something short term. You can do it for only 1 year or 2 years. You can't do a campaign for 10 years.
No.
So I converted the Mbona campaign to make sure that let me just go and register a foundation. So I registered something called Malaika Trust. So after registering Malaika Trust, it's very interesting. When I registered Malaika Trust, my aim was to focus mostly in the rural areas. Okay. But when I went to rural areas, the word trust looks like a bank and all that. So I had to convert the name from Malaika Trust to Malaika Disability Foundation. When they hear the word foundation, it's like it's easy for them to understand what a foundation does and what a foundation is.
They're seeing help.
Yes. You understand? So when they know, because I think most people are familiar with the word foundation than a trust.
Yeah.
So I converted.
Because at trust, I see money.
You understand?
You're either extorting me or I'm making money.
You get, yeah?
Yes.
So when I converted to Malaika Disability Foundation, my aim, when I started, it was more of, I had 2 events in 1 year annually. So the first event was Malaika Tribute Awards. I used to have award ceremonies.
I remember
on December 3rd, yes. Whereby we award persons living with disability who have, despite their challenges, they're still doing great things.
Yeah.
And then from there, I started Malaika Disability Walk, whereby we do a walk to fundraise money. That one still exists. Even we did it last year, we are doing it this year. It's just a way of us creating awareness and fundraising to make sure that children who are born with a physical disability can receive or can get free surgery to just correct. Mostly is what we call correctable disabilities or correctable deformities. So if we see a child who has like extreme bow-legged or a child who has different forms, or you can see an ankle of a child maybe is something that is twisted.
Yeah.
You understand? So all these things, we make sure that we give children who have this kind of disabilities free medical surgery for them at least to be corrected and for them to have a bright future. So things like club foot, windswept, bow-legged, those things are correctable. And through our foundation, we work closely with a hospital in Kijabe called Cure. As we fundraise, and then we give the money to Cure, and Cure
does the operation,
the surgery. So apart from that, at the same time, I leverage on my social capital to look for funds, either abroad or locally, and I help other organizations to fundraise. For example, there's a children's home in Eldoret called Jawabu. They were looking for money to not to renovate per se, but to make better the children's home. So I went to Safaricom, and Safaricom gave me like around 38 million to construct a children's home in Eldoret. The same thing happened with Kiwa Hospital. They were looking for money to build a new ward in Kijabe. And of course, at the same time, I went to Safaricom, and they gave me around 35 million to construct a new.
This Safaricom and you have good relationships.
Yes.
And I believe it's because you deliver the projects that you pitch.
I've worked with Safaricom for so many years. Safaricom Foundation, M-Pesa, and all that for so many years. And the best thing about Safaricom is once they see the project looks viable, they always come in. And you see, for me, my transparency really works to a level whereby I always say sometimes I don't even touch the money. I tell the guys, I've seen the project. This project needs a lot of money, and this is the amount that is needed. You guys look for a contractor who can come and build it. And for me, at the end of the day, the hospital benefits. Safaricom benefits.
So as long as it is done, Safaricom can do it themselves and just deliver it.
Yes. I'm not those guys that you have to pay me.
You have to send the money for me to.
So I help so many organizations to fundraise, because there's so many organizations which are doing great things in this country, but maybe they don't have the privilege that I have. Because for me, I'm well connected, of course, with corporates, and I use my social capital even through government to do such projects.
What's the long-term vision for now Malaika Foundation?
So the most important thing right now that we're focused on is to make sure that each and every year we have like 10 organizations that we help to support. You understand? Sorry. 10 organizations that we... I don't want to use that. You understand? Stop me!
Misawa, Mr. Understand.
Stop me! So I want to make sure that so many organizations can run and they can be well funded.
Yes.
And even I use my links abroad to get funding from other American celebrities who come and fund projects in Africa or in Kenya. So my plan as the founder of Malaika Disability Foundation is to make sure that I want to open up an institution whereby we're going to give opportunity and train persons with disability to make sure that they become policymakers. The other day I challenged the CSs and even the president, whereby I said during my speech, I had a request. How come we never see a CS who has disability?
We do. There was
CS.
No, CS, no.
You understand?
But
we have like 2 or 3 slots from MPs and senators. You understand? But I'm just...
there is no CS.
We need to get...
PS even.
We don't have. No. We need to get PSS and CSS who are appointed to represent. Because even right now as we speak, the only reason why we have a new Disability Act 2003 is because President Kibaki had an accident. If we didn't have an accident, we will not be talking about a Disability Act.
No way.
I'm so serious. The reason why even the Disability Act was even created at that time, because even till today it's still called Disability Act 2003, is because the former President Mwai Kibaki had an accident. And at that moment is when he realized disability is a club that anyone can join
at any moment
in life. So I always want to challenge the leadership of this country to make sure that, and that's why we had to push for that Disability Act, to make sure that, and through my foundation, Malaika, I want to push that even corporates, we need to see 5% of persons with disability working in your offices. Because I once went to Safaricom and I asked them, in maybe say a call center, someone who is visually impaired can do that job, because you just need information, very good information, how to operate the phone, and polish English and polish Kiswahili. You understand? So it's not like something that it needs a lot of techniques.
Yeah.
Someone who's visually impaired, who is trained, can do that job.
Yeah.
So if we see an increment when it comes to percentage from corporates to KCB, Cooperative Bank, Family Bank, all these banks, all these telcos, all these betting companies, we need to see an increment whereby we have so many persons with disability working in those offices.
Yeah.
So my aim with Malaika is to empower persons with disability to occupy these spaces in future.
Yeah.
That's my goal. Yeah.
Now, there are 2 bills you're championing. The first one is Persons with Disabilities Bill, which is awaiting the presidential assent.
It's been ascended.
It
was ascended today is when?
Today is on
last week, because I was to attend, but I was in Kisumu. Yeah, it was last week.
And the second one is the Kenya Sign Language Bill. So I want you to educate us. For people who do not know about these 2 bills, what are they about? So a bill is just something that is something that can be proposed to see how, it's like a constitution that can be proposed to see how things, the status quo can be changed, or something that can be introduced, a policy that can be introduced to better a society or someone's or some people's lives. So the Disability Act has vipengele mingi sana. It's a big booklet, but there are some highlights of the things that we were really pushing for. Yeah.
Number one, we were pushing for parents of children who have disabilities, because you see, this parent is the one who, for example, a mother who has, or a dad or a father who has a kid who is suffering from CP, cerebral palsy. This child, or let me use spina bifida, for example, a condition like spina bifida. This child cannot even move the neck. The child is paralyzed from here down.
Yeah.
So this child needs full support.
Constant care,
because they can't even turn.
Yeah.
Hata kileswa kitanda, pale ulimwacha utampata. So you have to go there, umtan. So you see, and I don't know, maybe it's because of mother's love or anything, we normally see mostly mothers who suffer when it comes to this situation. The lady attached kazi, they'll decide, I just want to be a stay-home mom and take care of this child.
Yes.
So this lady will go through a lot, because life yake imechangiwa from that moment henceforth.
And sometimes the guys abscond, they just disappear.
You get, yeah?
Yeah.
And the moment this happens, the person who suffers the most is the parent.
Yeah.
So the bill is here to make sure that the parent is covered when it comes to tax exemption. It's covered in that bill. So that parent, because kitambo it was more of, it's only the child who's exempted. But the child is exempted from what?
Exempted from what?
You
because
get,
he's not even started working, or he might not even reach there.
That's my point. Yeah. So we fought to make sure that now even the parent is exempted. Mm-hmm. Number two, we've been seeing an issue whereby you need to go and renew. A person with disability, every year you have to renew your membership. You're like,
oh yeah, by the way,
you're like, why should I renew? This is my life.
This is your situation.
You understand? So, like for me, I lost my eye when I went to the hospital, because before you are given that card, you have to produce a doctor's report. So the doctor's report says the eye is permanently damaged. It means there's nothing they can do.
Yes.
So when you're told every now and then you have to renew, what am I renewing?
It sounds very funny, but it's not funny.
You get it?
Yeah, because this is a lifetime condition. Yeah.
So why am I every now and then every now and then I need to go to government and tell them I need an exemption for my tax? Why should I be coming every June to ask for my exemption? Why?
It should be automatic.
It should be automatic because this is my life. This is who I am.
And especially when you filed the first time, they should know onwards from there.
Yeah.
This is a disabled person and is exempted.
The process is, but the process is very vigorous. Before they even approve for you to get that card to be exempted in the first place, is very vigorous. So why should you be going through it? It's like someone has to remind you every year that you are a disabled person.
What is that process like before you get that card?
Number one, you have to go and register at National Council for Persons Living with Disability. Their offices are at Wayaki Way, just opposite ABC Place. That's where the offices are. In the same compound, there's APDK and the National Council. So once you go there, you register. Of course, you have to go with your ID and all that.
Yeah.
And then they put you and they enroll you. First, you take your name. But before now, you're given the disability card to prove that you have a form of disability. You have to go and get a medical report. So you have to go, if your problem is with your eye, you have to go to a pathologist. I think pathologist in the macho. I don't know.
Ophthalmologist.
Ophthalmologist. Pathologist in our body. Ophthalmologist. I confused the two. So you have to go to an ophthalmologist for the doctor to write a report to confirm that your eye has a problem and is permanent. It's not like you have a condition that maybe through surgery can be reversed, or through medication, or through specs it can be reversed. So that report, again, it has to go through vetting.
By the same organization?
Yes. So you have to take it there. After that, then if you are mature enough now, over 18, that you need a tax exemption, you have to go again online and register for tax exemption. It has to go to KRA. But you have to attach all these things. You have to attach the National Council for Persons with Disability card, and you have to attach the report from the doctor. So that now it goes to KRA, and then KRA now gives you the exemption. Yeah. But even the exemption, you have to stipulate. You need to be exempted for what?
So kama yako, you're exempted for what?
So many things. I can say some up.
Okay, but it's reasonable things. Yes.
Okay. It's very challenging. I always say, this is a statement that is always within the disability community. People don't say it loud, but let me just say it. They always associate disability with poverty. You get it? Yeah? Because the biggest number of people who live with disability in this country, according to National Council, most of them live below
poverty line.
You get it? So when you read these things and then you do the process, as Owen Mwati, ama Daddy Owen, when I go through it, I always wonder, how many people understand these things? How many people see the value of this thing? Because they ask you on exemption of things like cars, nini, and I'm like, how many can even afford a car? You get it?
Yeah.
So all these things, I still feel they can still be reviewed, because I always say we see changes. We appreciate for the change that we have right now, but we still believe
there's more that needs to be done.
We will improve as we go. But one of the biggest win on that Disability Act is the tax reduction or exemption on gadgets, which is very important.
Yes.
But I still feel there's some gray line somewhere. That one we'll handle it in the future. But we still feel that there's some gray lines here and there. But the best thing about it is the exemption on gadgets or assistive devices. Things like walking canes, things like wheelchairs, all these assistive devices. Right now they have exemptions. These are big wins. These are big wins.
Yes.
The disability, the Kenya Sign Language, we call it KSL. The KSL Act, one of the biggest thing that we were pushing for is to making sure that at least, KSL is a language. Kenya Sign Language. Yes. It's a language. It should be treated like a language. The same way Kiswahili is treated as a language, English is treated as a language, KSL is a language. Because I remember even before we had KSL, we used to use ASL, American Sign Language, which is very different from us. Because, you see, we as Africans, there are things, we already have our own sign language, even if you're not deaf.
Yes.
What you mean.
Oh, yes.
You get it? So, the KSL fought so hard to make sure that they separate or they have their own language apart from the ASL.
So apart from this standardization of world sign language,
yes,
there's also the Kenyan version for the Kenyan people.
And shock on you, even in KSL, because I deal with so many deaf people, they have their own sheng. You can learn the sign language, the one that you learn in class, but they can still gossip.
Oh no!
While you're there,
they can really.
While you're there.
No way. So you're busy signing with the normal language, and then they're using their Sheng language.
I never knew, because I took my classes. I think last year. Yeah, because I remember we were in class with Charlene. We were doing the same thing with Charlene Ruto at that time. So we were in the same class learning sign language. And through that, we travel a lot, understanding the different sign languages we have in the country. And we discovered watu wa Coast wako na Sheng yao, watu wa Nairobi wako na Sheng yao. So you can learn the basic sign language, but now there's kuna ka hidden code.
Regional wise.
Yeah. So the most important thing we're pushing for, is to make sure that even teachers should learn sign language.
Yes.
Teachers should learn sign language. At least
basic one.
You get it? At least on a basic level. It should be taught even in schools.
Yeah.
Because right now we're seeing an influx of children with autism.
Yes.
Things that we never used to see a long time ago. Right now there are so many autistic kids. And you find many maybe they start talking at 9-10 years. But before that, they're non-verbal. So these are things that we need to address right now.
Yeah.
Moving forward, we need to make sure that any child who has any form, I travel abroad a lot to benchmark. And when you go abroad, you find that the systems are so good and have been put in place or level whereby even the parents don't struggle with their children.
They don't. They have been integrated.
Yes.
That sign language, like it's normal. The parents know, the siblings know. It's so easy for them than locally.
Yes. So that's another thing. So we are trying to make sure that we are pushing for such things to happen, that we need to have all these centers in our 47 counties. We need to have centers whereby a parent can just go there and learn sign language.
Yeah, you don't have to come from Kisumu to Nairobi to learn.
You get it? Yeah. So those are things that we are really trying to push through the bills.
And can anyone open a sign language school?
It can, but you see,
like the way guys are now opening high school.
That is doable and very possible. even here in Nairobi, there are so many. There are so many speech therapists and sign language teachers. But the difference is, we always push for government to be the pioneers of such things. Because you see, once something is private, it can tend to become expensive.
Yes,
for any other parent. You get, yeah? Because you understand mtu anatumia profession yake and his time, so he has to be paid back.
Yes.
But you see, with government can pay these people.
Yes.
So it can be cheaper when you have so many teachers who can do such service, who can provide such services, and yet the government is in a position even to pay them.
Yeah. So wewe hii sign language unajua kusign, unaweza kuwa ule mtu kwa kabox hapo kwa TV. Umefika hiyo level?
Zingine zanipita. Mingi na akifanya na kama the one who is very famous is called Yula on Citizen. Yula akifanya na understand what Yula is saying. Yeah.
But wewe huwezi ifanya.
Ni hard because you know your hands must be very very, very fast. And unfortunately that's another thing. It's like mostly when you learn sign language, you learn by observing, but you don't learn by practicing.
Aha. So you understand what letters the person is saying.
Because you see, it's like any other language. Even if you go to school right now and learn Spanish, if you don't find anyone in the house or within your environment speaking Spanish, it's really hard for you to exercise.
Yeah.
But once you hear a song or you watch someone speaking, you can pick few things and connect the sentence. That's the same thing. With sign language, it means now you need to be, most of the time, communicating.
Consistently signing.
Yeah.
What is the one misconception about disability that you're trying to change with your work?
I once went to park my car somewhere. So after I parked, because I saw a disability sign and I parked there. So immediately,
empty.
So immediately when I parked, when I came out, the guard was like, wewe hii ni watu walemavu. And I'm like, one of the biggest misconception we can say maybe so many people don't have the knowledge about it, is not all disabilities
are visible.
There are mental disabilities. There's so many types of disabilities, different forms. Because if someone comes here with a hearing impairment, how will you know?
I wouldn't know until maybe I start speaking with the person. The person signs, then I know.
Yes.
It's hearing.
Yes.
Yeah.
So the public needs to start understanding. Because I know so many mothers who have kids who are autistic. One thing unasikia mtu anasema, mtu amelelewa vibaya, mbona anapiga kelele? Mbona analialia? And you don't know exactly what's happening. Before my mom used to tell me most of the time, when you have nothing good to say, just shut up.
Yeah.
So I've seen mothers who are wameingia kama kwa matatu ama wameingia kwa mall, and then they're really trying so much to control their kids, but unasikia mnasema wewe nyamazisha mtoto. And so many Kenyans don't know how to differentiate, because while we were growing up, there was only one word for anyone who has any form of mental problem. Ni mwenda wazimu. And complete, like hakuna hata variation ya uenda wazimu. Yes. It is just one group. Yes. That thing pains me. That thing pains me a lot. That's a misconception that the public needs to be taught or educated or be informed. Because by society getting informed, that's why I go to benchmark abroad a lot. By society getting that information, it's so easy for society to understand the different forms and even to embrace the children, apart from the children, even the parents. Yeah. Because the parent is going through a lot already. The other thing, I feel like last week we were with another organization called Hope Mobility. we went to Kisumu to give out free wheelchairs. One of the biggest challenges I noticed is that having a child who has disability is very expensive.
Extremely.
Because this person cannot take a matatu.
No. Unless now they are carried in and carried out.
You understand? So we're talking about physical disability.
Hassle.
Is a hassle.
Yeah.
And then most of them you find they don't even have a foldable wheelchair. And then the society is not even patient enough for a matatu kusimama. It takes like 15 minutes because lama mtu atole kwa wheelchair, abebwe kwa kiti, or fold your wheelchair wake kwa boot. The society is not patient.
Yeah.
For such things. So when I was talking to these parents, one of the biggest challenge, because unasemanga mbona mtu wako aende shule na kuna shule mingi za disability, but you don't understand that is not only going to school. It's even the means of taking that
getting
child
to school.
Yeah. So there's a mother who came. I saw her daughter. Msichana ni msichana mkubwa. And she's like, she's never used a wheelchair. I always carry her to hospital. But right now, juzi nimepata shida ya mgongo. So I can't mbeba kumpeleka shule. And I was like, it's just a matter of giving her free wheelchair and all these things will change.
Yeah.
So these are the things that really pains me, that I feel like society, we need to have a campaign through the government, through National Council, to educate the society on how to embrace in the kids among the disability family.
Yeah. Like just create awareness.
Just create awareness.
Different conditions.
Just get awareness.
How to handle them. How to help
like when
them.
I normally, most of my inbox, apart from my na vitu zingine, most of my inbox ukuwa people asking for
unajua ilikuwa imenipita rada imerudi. Yes, apart from madam
in the middle of a very serious conversation. So most of the inbox messages that I get inakuanga, Owen, I need a wheelchair, Owen, I need surgery, Owen. So those are because right now it's like people associate me with helping person with disability.
Yeah.
So one answer that mushindo kujibu watu ni, I try school them, and I try educate them, is not all wheelchairs are the same. I know more than 20 types of wheelchairs with different functionalities. So when I went to Kisumu, I was going to educate the parents, educate the society, the different forms of wheelchairs and functionalities. Because you might need a wheelchair because of a condition on your leg. That wheelchair cannot serve the same with a person who has a condition on their back.
Yeah,
or their spine. Or lower back. The lower back wheelchair is different from upper back.
Not all wheelchairs are standard.
Yeah. So someone tells you, I need a wheelchair. I need to ask you so many questions. Before I give you a wheelchair, I have to ask you so many questions.
By the way, I was so ignorant of that.
Yeah.
Me, I just knew wheelchairs.
No. And it's not only you.
I never thought. It has.
And it's not only you.
Yeah.
I get calls from governors. They're like, hey, Daddy Owen, I have a medical camp. I need 50 wheelchairs. But I'm like, hey, governor, it doesn't work like that.
Yeah. You have to do a survey.
You have to do a survey.
And see these people what
you need to have a doctor.
Oh, yeah.
Who will tell you, huyu condition yake, if we give him this wheelchair, itaharibika hata itakuwa worse. Because we've seen children who are given a wrong wheelchair for their back. And it makes their condition even become worse. Because, for example, there are wheelchairs which have these wheels.
Yeah.
That someone can propel.
Yes, yourself.
And push. But, what if you give that wheelchair to someone who their limbs
cannot do anything?
So it
is useless.
It's useless. And you see those wheelchairs are always wider. There are smaller wheelchairs that have like 4 wheels.
Yes.
But small wheels.
Yes, the one that helps you.
You get, turn. Yeah? So that one is just for someone to push. So the person who has a problem with maybe the upper part of his body, they don't need a wheelchair that has those 2 big wheels.
Yeah.
So there are very different forms of wheelchairs. And even someone who has a condition on their back, the wheelchairs are always tilted a bit here. They are all, because there are people who are formed like this.
Oh, so it depends with where you're leaning more.
You get? So there are very different forms of wheelchairs that have different functionalities. So I was trying to even educate the society about different forms of wheelchairs that can serve, because once the parents used to, when they were coming into the hall, they were like, I need a wheelchair. Nataka kama hii. And you're like, no, it doesn't work like that. Yeah. And even there's a kid who came. I saw a kid who walking in. And I could tell this kid doesn't need a wheelchair. They just need surgery. And they'll walk again. And I had to advise the parent. The parent was like, no. Ameshinda hivi miaka zote. Nikamwambia, ameshinda hivi miaka zote because you've never sought advice. But right now I'm telling you.
I'm a self-diagnosed.
Nah, nikamwambia, I'll do it for free. I told the mother, I'll do it for free. So I think this week they're coming to Kijabe for free surgery.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Awesome job, by the way.
Thank you.
Now you are ventured into tech space, launching Schoolyfy.
Yeah.
First, what inspired you to kuingia hii tech space? Because I don't see you as a techie, kabisa.
I like finding solutions to existing problems. I've done so many businesses by there. I used to run a restaurant. I've done so many businesses. People don't know. So this is an idea. We are 3 guys. Me, DJ Mo, and another guy called Vincent. So this is an idea that we got for us. All of us were parents, the 3 of us.
Yes.
And we used to have this problem every morning where you hear, if you are lucky enough for you to be able to drop your kid and pick them, it's different. But if you're using the school bus, every day in the morning, even where you live here, if you go around in the morning at the gates, you'll find kids waiting at the gate. Kwanza sasa hivi kunanyesha very in the morning. Kids waiting for the gate with umbrellas, with aunties. They're waiting for the bus.
Yeah. And
sometime you'll discover a kid will wait for a very long time. So when the idea came, we talked about it and then we didn't activate. But one day, I was leaving my place. I saw a kid. Then I went. In the middle of my journey, I came back. After 30 minutes, I discovered I'd forgotten something. When I came back, I found the kid there. It was raining. It was very cold, very early in the morning. And mostly you find this around 6, 7.
Yeah.
The kids are there. And I was like, okay, this is a solution that we need to find a solution to this. And the idea is basically helping parents to know exactly where the bus is, to track where the bus is. So in the morning, if you live on, let's say you live on 5th floor, you don't need to go to the gate and wait for the bus. You just look at the app, because it's app-based and web-based.
So it's like Uber.
It's like
know
Uber.
Where it is.
Yeah. So for the parent, you download the app and you can track where the school bus is in the morning. So if the school bus is on, for example, Mombasa Road coming, you can see and say, oh, it's 15 minutes away. Let me prepare my child. It's 10 minutes away. It's 5 minutes away. It's 200 meters. So when it says 200 meters, you can now come from your house down the stairs and go into the gate.
Yes.
And it helps the schools at the same time. That's why I say it's app-based and web-based. For the schools now, we have a backend or a platform whereby the schools now can track all their buses. We discovered so many schools don't track their buses. They track one by one, yet ours now, it creates a bigger platform whereby you can have just one screen. Naona hii iko hapa, hii iko pale, hii imeingia town, imetoka town, iko Mbagathi hivyo. You can see all your buses at the same time.
Yeah.
So this helps the nanny, it helps the father and the mother because all of them can have the app. And in the evening at the same time, it can help the parent to know where the bus is.
Yeah.
Because that's another thing.
How long
in the evening you have so many delays.
Yes.
You hear the bus should be there by 5:15. It's 6:15 and the bus is not yet here. So what we normally see is the nanny calling the mother calling the school. Asking, basi iko wapi? Kijana ako wapi? So if your son is called Aiden, now you can track Aiden in the evening and know the bus has just left the school And then it will tell you it will take 15 minutes for the bus to arrive at your home. So this one is solving a lot of problems for parents and even the schools. Not even the parents alone, even the schools. Yeah.
So on the parent side is monitoring and efficiency.
Yes.
And on the school side is still monitoring and efficiency.
Yes.
So where are you guys making money?
So
because sahi inakaa kama charity case.
It's not a charity case.
I know it is not a charity case.
So here is the catch. Number one, we've made sure that the security feature is very, very strong. So every school has its own code. So no one, even right now, you can't just go and download Schoolyfy. You can't. You must have a code from the school for you to download it. So the school now, because our business is not, they call it B2C, as it's not business to consumer. For us, it's B2B, business to business. So as we talk to the school now is the one that activates the parents. So as we don't deal with parents, as we just deal with the school. So with the school, there's a charge that the school now, because for us, we sell per user. There's an average we sell per user. But the difference is the school now puts their own markup for the parent to download. Because you see, there are schools which are in places like Choka, Kasarani, and there are schools which are in Kitengela, and there are schools which are in Lavington. All of them, they have different demographic of parents. You can't say the same amount a child or a parent in Lavington and in Choka can pay the same amount when it comes to the same services. So we charge the school a small fee per term, per user.
Per user.
Yeah, per user. So the school now takes up the mantle to now advertise
and get those users on the platform.
On the platform.
Oh, that's a smart way.
Yeah.
Kwenda kwa mzazi.
That's hard. No, that's hard. That's really hard.
Another thing I'm curious about is, you know, there are those buses that are not school affiliated. This is a group of parents wanakuja and then now they have their own bus or a person who has this vans,
the school transport
operating.
System.
Yes. Can you incorporate that? Can they join?
Yeah. There's a group in Ruaka who approached us. They want to do that. So we're still in conversation with them. Yeah, we're still in conversation with them. But it's something that we are looking forward to making sure, because we have those kind of business. There's so many. In Eastlands area, there are so many. So that's something that we want to integrate even in our Schoolyfy program. Yeah.
What is the main challenge you faced?
So when we started, we had salespeople going to schools. At the same time, I know I love what God gave me. My social capital made me know so many people, because right now I know the CEO of Kenya Private Schools Association. I know people in the Ministry of Education. So I thought the easiest way is just go to Kenya Private School Association to give me the number of the owners, and then I call them, and it's just simple as and everything happens. But I discovered that's not the approach. The approach when you're beginning, when it comes to startup is not easy. So the approach is you need to understand all the problems, because the salespeople, they just want to sell.
Yeah,
they're not looking for how to improve the app or how we can change the app. And so we decided, me and DJMO, we have to do something called door to door. So I told DJMO, we'll go to 50 schools before, because we have more than 18,000 schools.
Yeah.
I told DJMO, we need to go do door to door. And by doing door to door, it will help us to improve our app. So, and for sure, when we went to these schools, we discovered there are so many features that were missing. And even some of the features that we added in our app is something that the schools helped us to achieve. So the biggest challenge, number one, is most of these schools, the owners are elderly people. So for them to embrace technology is really hard. That's number one. because you have to explain and explain and explain. And you see these people are billionaires. Most of them are billionaires.
Yeah.
So when you're talking to them, for you feel like you're giving them business, but for them, they have so many businesses.
Like this is like a small portion.
That's number one. Number two, another biggest challenge that we normally face, so many tech startups in Kenya have done business with schools, and they've been doing shoddy jobs, or they've been having poor or bogus tech solutions. And once they fail, the owners or the head teachers or anyone in school, they always feel like, hizi za Kenya, hizi tech za Kenya zinashinanga zinatusumbua.
So there's no trust.
There's no trust. So the moment you go there, there's already a perception. And it's really hard to blame them because they've been in the industry for so many years. Wewe ni mgeni hapa. Mtu anakwambia amerun shule for 30 years.
Yeah.
Utamwambia nini na anakwambia amejaribu hizi vitu for the past 10 years and they're not working. So changing the mentality is not easy. And it's only because of a poor track record. Number 3, everyone, once we enter with DMO, they always feel like we are brand ambassadors.
And not the owners of the tech itself.
So the mentality that every celebrity is just selling someone else's product it's good and it's bad. Because when it comes to tech solutions, people always want to feel like once I have a problem, I can call you direct and you'll solve my issue.
Yes.
So immediately when you talk to them and tell them that they can call you, they're like,
sure.
You get, yeah?
Who is the face behind this?
So we've had so many rumors that sijui kuna nani ako nyuma yetu, kuna wazungu, sijui mara kuna muhindi, mara sijui kuna betting company, mara we've had so many of those.
Betting company wamekelewa vitu mingi sana.
You get, so tumesikia all those rumors, and sometimes it can work or it cannot work. Because another thing, there's a record of so many startups in Kenya. Once they succeed, they run away or they fold the company. We've heard of big companies.
Make the money and you disappear.
You fold it.
Yeah.
We heard of guys always have a perception that the moment you have a successful tech company, the plan is to get the seed funding. Once you get the funding, you fold it, because we have a list of Kina Twiga, Kina Nani, all of them. So there's that perception again.
Yeah.
And all these challenges, others are very technical, others are not technical. Another issue that we face now on the ground, so many schools have buses, but there's no system to the bus. The bus is more of ile medropia mwisho inapikwa kwanza. So you find that your child aliingia shule na KCW, ametoka na KDA.
By the way, that is true.
Hata
mimi nifanyike.
So these are the
morning
issues.
Bus is different from the evening bus.
So these are the things that we are trying to sort, to make sure that the bus that picks your child in the morning is the same bus. Like there'll always be a stipulated bus, and there's just a substitute bus due to maybe something technical issues, but there must be a stipulated bus for picking and dropping
that particular area. So are you looking to expand Schoolyfy outside Kenya?
Hey, this is interesting. I got a text today in the morning, someone from CG, where they're like, I saw your video talking about Schoolyfy. Can you bring it to our country? I'm thinking about doing that, but I'm one of those people who I'm never in a rush. I always say I must understand my product really well before because so many companies in Kenya, if you notice, so many from supermarkets and all that, the moment they start expanding, it's like you always feel like
a carcass.
Yeah, you always feel like these are deathbed. These guys, in the next few years, these guys
will be nowhere.
Yes. So, and it's a challenge that I know how it works because I've been in that situation. I was a partner with a friend of mine. We had a restaurant, and then we over-expanded, and it died. A natural death.
Flew quickly.
Yes. We were flying very high, closer to the sun. So that's the thing that we don't want to do with this. I really want to understand it. If you notice, I've been vocal about it, but pia niko na to breaks kiasi. I've not gone all out doing billboards and all that because we still have so many challenges, and challenges don't come from our end, because on our end we built a very good solution, but the challenge is like what I've told you. The buses, schools have buses that are not even there's no order with the buses. There's no order for the system with the buses.
And do they have a tracking system?
They have.
Because how does it link to your tech?
The schools having a tracking system?
No, the buses itself. Because I'm thinking, how does let's say Uber, see, they're connected by the phones they're given. So what is that connection for Schoolyfy and the buses?
You just answered the question.
Oh, the phones.
Yeah. You just answered the question. Because when we went to schools, we discovered there are some people who came with the ways of tracking students with other different ideas, like watch, so the gadget you put, the iPads.
Oh, yeah.
And
AirTags.
And what we discovered is parents and schools, already education is very expensive in this country.
Yes.
The moment you come with the hardware, hardware is very expensive. And hardware always has an issue of kupotea, kuharibika.
Yeah.
Hardware is hard to maintain and is expensive to purchase.
Yes.
So guys came with all those ideas. Ours was simple. We just want to use an app, because I was like, Uber has been functioning in this country for so many years.
Yes.
We never had a day that, hey, Uber may drop. Uber is not, you understand? So I was like, why can't we just do exactly what Uber is doing? Why we should not even reinvent the wheel? Because even our map box is exactly same as the Bolt map box. So we are like, we don't need to reinvent the wheel. Let's just create a solution that is as easy as guys can use an app at home and monitor all these things. So you don't need an extra gadget.
Yeah. So
even
now it's just in Nairobi,
right now it's just in Nairobi.
Just in Nairobi.
And weirdly, we focused mostly in Eastlands. We learned so many things. We started with the Akina Lavington, Westlands and all that. And then we discovered most of those schools in that area is like 50-50. Like most parents have time to drop and pick, or they have drivers to drop and pick. So you'll find if a school has a population of, let's say, 5,000, you'll find like less than 1,000 are using the bus.
And the bus, they have figured it out.
Yes. So I was like, let's go to areas whereby we have a population of, there's a school I know that we're operating with right now. They have a population of like 7,000. And this population of 7,000, you'll find more than 85% use the school bus. So we were like, okay, let's just focus. Because when you started, you were like, maybe to focus more kwa punk. Then we discovered, no, we're missing the point.
They don't need you as much.
We are missing the point. So we came to these areas like the Kina Utawalas, the areas like Kina Mombasa Road, areas like Kitengela. Those areas have so many private schools, and the population is big.
Yeah.
Very big.
Sasa watu TikTok walikuwa wanatafuta Ian Mugoya.
Yes.
Wewe nikaona social media umempata. Ulimpata wapi na anafanya nini?
This is very interesting. So during one of our escapades going door to door, knocking at schools, a parent just wrote to us that come to our school. It's in Kasarani. So we went. Tukafika hapo, tukaongea na teacher, tukaongea na boss, wakasema, oh, this is a very good, because I think I'm very good when it comes to pitching. So I pitched. And
yeah, you are a proper pitcher.
And the guys are like, oh, this is a very good, this is a brilliant idea. In fact, you guys have come at the right time. The directors and the director's son are here. So the best thing to do, let's go for a meeting in the boardroom, sit down, have a meeting, and then we discuss on how we can engage you.
Yeah.
So while we are there with the teachers, I see Ian walking in. And I'm like, what are you doing here, man? And Ian is like, what are you guys doing here? And we're like, we're here to sell a product to the school. So Ian is like, this is our school. I'm like, no, you can't be serious. So we had a long talk. Apart from just selling the product, and you see that's the importance of social capital.
Yeah.
Now they knew through Ian, it was so easy to sell to this school.
Yeah.
And we didn't even have a long discussion. Then from there we just started like a side chat about his career. So he was like,
I left him selling alcohol in some app.
Yeah. He's done so many things.
Yeah.
So the guy is like, I just decided to help my parents. I was like, why can't I just run the family business?
Yeah.
So he's there with his younger brother. They're running the family business. He's one of the directors because the parents are quite elderly. So I'm like, lucky you.
That is the best gift you can be given by a parent.
Yeah, I was telling him, some of us, our parents walituacha kwa street. Tungangane, ndo tutafute boda, itukimbize airport.
Yeah.
But someone like you, umeachwa kwa runway. It's just for you to take off.
Build the empire.
Yeah, just take off. Yeah. And I was like, live a quiet life. Some of us, it's
and he has managed to do that.
Yeah, live a quiet life. Given a chance, if I get like a brilliant business and everything works perfectly for me, I don't think I need any fame, man.
Yeah.
I don't think I need any
Most people will take it and disappear.
Yeah, for me, like I said while we were starting, my brand helps me to get more business. Like even right now, I do a lot of government tenders. When I enter in those offices, they're like, Daddy, and they're still excited about who I am. So I leverage on my social capital to do more business.
Yeah.
But kama Ian
hata mimi ningeenda mbio sana
because fame is not as easy as fun as people think. I meet so many people who are really working so hard to become famous. And I'm like, do you know what it is? Because my advice to most young people, I always tell them, one of those who are thirsting for fame, I always warn them and tell them, fame is a monster. A monster that you have to feed it every
constantly.
Day. You have to feed it. The day you stop feeding it, it will have grown, become so big that it will have to eat you alive. You have to be ready to be eaten alive by your fame. Fame is not a joke. And it's not an easy monkey to carry on your back. It looks fun.
Yeah.
And all that, but it's not easy. Some of us, we just have to use our social capital to knock at so many doors for so many doors to be open.
Yeah.
But it's not like it's an easy thing. I hear people complaining about sijui nani tabia yake ni hii. Famous people and politicians are just an example of who we are as a society. It's only that their mistakes can be highlighted and expounded.
It's magnified.
And
then peer the scale of where they are. It's like everyone now has your problem.
But everyone, most of these people who complain about politicians and all that, if they're given the same office or same opportunity, they'll just do the same thing.
Or even worse. Yeah.
Juliani said in one of his songs, that it's a very deep line, but very interesting. Juliani said, wewe ni mfaithful ama ni doa lojo hauna. You understand? You see, there are people who they are good opportunity. Yeah, they're just good people because they don't have the same opportunity.
Yes.
So Juliani anauliza wewe ni mfaithful ama ni doa lojo hauna. Because ukipata doa lojo, will you still be faithful? Yes. So that's a line that I always ask people. When in faithful I see so many people complain. I'm not saying that our politicians are the best people in this country. We know we've had weird leadership in this country.
Yeah.
But I always say politicians are just a reflection of who we are as a society. Because we don't live in a monarchy.
No.
We don't live in a dictatorship. We don't live in a country whereby...
Also, we are not as democratic as we think.
You get? Yeah. So, we don't live in a military rule country. So, it means most of these leaders who are in these offices, we are the ones who put them there.
Yes.
You get?
Yes.
So what does it tell?
It's our choices.
Yeah, what does it say of who we are as a society?
Because them.
Because I saw a discussion the other day on Twitter. Guys now saying loudly who are their preferred candidates in 2027 when it comes to presidential race. And everyone had their own choice. Most guys had their own choice. I've seen Maraga, I've seen Matiang'i, I've seen Gachagua, and then now the bar started going lower. Guys are like, huyu ashaifanya hii lakini si mbaya kama huyu. Huyu ashaifanya hii lakini huyu yako tu kama huyu. Lakini huyu ashaifanya. So the bar started dropping. It dropped to a level whereby everyone is like, I just need change.
There's no longer a bar.
There's no bar at all. So it's just a reflection of who we are as a society. To a level whereby we are going to look for an option that is not even better than the option we have, but we are like, as a society, we are like,
we just want something.
Want something different. So when you say you want, there's an MCA in our area who guys complain right now. They're like, mtu afanye kazi. So when they go to him, he always says, but during my campaign, I told you guys I just want one term. I didn't tell you want a re-election. So if you're complaining that you think that utaninyima kura, mimi sikusema nataka. I told you, but you guys didn't listen to me. So it's the same thing that is happening in society right now. In our politics right now.
Yeah.
Most of these politicians are just a reflection. And I don't think we'll be shocked in 2027 discovering that we'll return most of these people.
Highly likely. Tusipokuwa na bar.
Yeah.
Because we might actually return exactly the same.
There's no bar. Yeah. Because we are vibrant, we are loud, we are aggressive, we are willing to go to the streets and doing all that. But when it comes to policy level, I remember before I went to the board of because I've been in music for so many years. And in music we used to complain a lot about MCSK, PRS. You understand? All this.
I think as early as yesterday, Nikita Kering was in the AU.
Yes.
Complaining about Kenyan CMOs.
Yes. So one day I asked myself, yes, I'm ready to go to complain. I was always very vocal and complaining, but I was like, what am I doing in my own capacity to venture into the policy level of this thing? So one day I found myself to be in the board of these things, and I went there. I didn't go there for anything else, but just to find out exactly what's happening inside there. So most of us Kenyans, we never want to know the policies that make these people who they are. We always want to be vocal, but when we're given a chance now to be the change that we want to see,
we don't want to take the step.
Yes, we always go back to something familiar. Kenyans will always vote someone who is familiar. That's why you see we always recycle the same politicians. I pray that the Gen Z who have been very vocal and said they want to change, I pray that we'll see that great change.
Yeah.
I pray for that. That will be a new dawn for Kenya.
They are our hope.
That's our hope.
Wakasirike
yes, that will be a new dawn for Kenya. Yeah. But if we continue the same trend, I can assure you 97% of these guys will be back in 2027.
I saw bro Rafton aliingia politics. Wewe utaingia politics?
2027 niko ndani.
Hey,
but
which is it a position wise?
Yeah, it's a position wise because I wanted to say it doesn't. You see, there's a notion, a misconception that leadership is only through ballot. There's so many ways you can get into leadership. So 27 is just no niko ndani. Whether through ballot, whether through back door, wewe niko ndani. Wewe niko ndani. Hapo 27 wewe niko serikali. Wewe
uko kwa serikali.
Wewe niko serikali. Wewe hivyo. I believe in God. 27.
Suni hintie.
27 just no.
Nomination or county level?
Any. Wewe niko ndani. I've been very strategic. If you're keen enough, you'll notice I'm very well connected in government.
Yes.
You'll notice I'm very strategic with my brand and what I do. You'll notice I'm very strategic with how my impact in society is felt. So if you're keen enough, you know where I'm eyeing.
Lakini pia hiyo connection yako iko juu sana. So please get your politics to sisi ndio tutakuwa phone callers.
Cause for me, I always believe, even when I'm going to politics, when I'm going into leadership, I believe my stand still stands. I believe I was part of the people who really fought for Disability Act to be amended and to be
now
passed. And at the same time, I believe I'm going into leadership to fight for the same thing. I'm not going into leadership to benefit, because I've been here for so long.
And at least to track record.
Yeah. If it's fame nishaona, if it's money nishaona, there's nothing that I'm going there because of that. I believe I'm a leader on my own, and I believe in leadership you need to take that mantle and make sure you are at the policy level where you can push for change to happen, not just to be vocal outside. You need to be on the table to make sure. Like I said, when I went to CMOs, I sat on that table to make sure that I change some policies. I knew me heckling out there, there are things I wouldn't change. But on the table, there are some policies you can say, no, guys, let's change this. So the same thing is happening right now. At this level, I need people like Crystal Asige to go and air out our concerns, our grievances.
Yes.
But now, when you are blessed to be on that table, even there are some policies you can fix from there.
Yeah. We lost journalist Nick Mudimba.
Yeah.
Now, ukaingia social media, you mourned him. How was he like as a person?
Nick was a very jovial guy. And it's one of those weird people that could just call me out of the blue to ask me, nukoaje? Unaendeleaje? Because once you become a celebrity, 98% of the calls you get are people who want favor, or they're asking for help, or it's rare just to find someone asking you, ukoaje?
Just checking up.
Yes, just checking up on you. Because most of the calls you get maybe from just few friends and few family members who will ask you such a question, but the rest is more of, I need favor, I've seen this thing trending, is it true or not true, you understand? So Nick was one of those guys who could just call you, akuulize, bro, uko aje? Uendeleaje? Ama he just calls you while he's bumping your song kwa radio yake kwa gari, and I go, bro, then he hang up. So he was that kind of a person. And when he passed on, it was so sudden. It was so sudden. And it was really tough even for me, because at that time, I had like 3 funerals happening at the same time. So it was tough. But like I say, we are here on this planet knowing that we have to serve a purpose. And one of our purpose is just to be good to other people. Yeah. And Nick played his role. Yeah.
Now, pale social media, nilitafuta picha ya mtoto sipati. Why have you decided to keep him private kabisa?
Like I said, fame is a monster. And I always relate to pastors' kids. You see?
Wale wanajaji wangu on a different
and
level.
My reason of bringing this up is because it's the pastor who has been called, not his children. But the judgment mostly happens on the kids. Just because I'm called and I'm born again, it doesn't mean that even my children will be born again.
Oh yeah, like the rhyming. Born again.
Double entendre. So the thing is, society thinks that just because when you're a pastor, umezaliwa kama you're born again. Ama you just need to live the same life that they are seeing your dad living. No, this is a kid that needs to go through the same process. Umeokoka kama uko 30 years. You did your things.
Without judgment, without guys even knowing.
Wacha mtu afanye mambo yake. So I have so many celebrity friends who, of course, expose their kids and all that. One day we had a very difficult discussion with one of the celebrities, and I was like, I find it hard to put my kids on social media because it's like you're choosing for them who they should become.
Yeah, in a way. You're pushing an agenda, or you're putting pressure on them. Because can you imagine you make your child become so famous and then maybe in school they're not performing well? Whether they like it or not, that thing will affect them. Yes.
Mentally.
And you know kids are brutal.
Yeah.
Your fellow classmates are merciless.
Yeah. So this is my I always say it's my opinion. Don't judge me on my opinion. It's just my opinion. You have your opinion and you have your own reason. So this is my reason.
Yes.
My kids will always pick what they want to become. It's not a matter of me imposing. I'll just support whatever I feel like they're talented on, or they love doing, or they desire, or they have passion for. I'll just enhance it. But I'll not impose something because I feel that is what is right. And even putting them on social media or in the media, it's just an extra pressure. Just because me, I'm a celebrity. You know, for me, I chose to become a celebrity.
Yeah.
I had an opportunity to work in an office, but I chose to become a celebrity. For them, they didn't choose to become celebrities. It's really hard for them growing up and then finding out they're just celebrities. Then the pressure comes in. If you watch someone like Lil Bow Wow, if you watch their interviews, they'll tell you, child stars, most of them, it's really hard to match up to the pressure when they grow up.
Yeah.
It's sometimes they just want to hide. Like right now I've been following Justin Bieber's story.
It's like
that guy
everything is now spiraling.
And I feel so sorry for him. But I can imagine, I've been in the industry for like 20 years. So try to imagine the same thing you're facing. And even in my 20s, I was still a wreck, not knowing how to handle it.
Yeah.
At least now I'm mature enough. I know what to say, what not to say, where to appear, where not to appear, what to do, what not to do. In your 20s, you're just making mistakes left, right, and center. So try to imagine someone who is 10 years, someone who is 5 years. How will they handle it? They don't even understand.
They don't even understand it.
So that's my reason. I have friends who use their kids, who have their kids in the social platforms. I respect their decision, but that's my own opinion. Right now, and more so for me after my divorce, I decided to try to keep my private life very private. Like the meaning of really what private, I want to use it. So, and I've been the happiest because now guys just focus on more. I hear so many rumors. I see the rumors. Sometimes I just laugh.
Because mimi niliona hapo ati Owen anatafuta kienyeji. So kwanza wewe kienyeji ni preference yako?
No, I'm just
because niliona ni uongo.
No, you see the things is which, like I've told you, right now I'm in a position where I know what to say, I know what not to say. So sometimes someone can come and put a lot of, that's why I love podcasts, because you know in podcasts you can express yourself, you can discuss things in depth and do that. But zile za barabara mseme mimi tunafanya na kuuza swali hivi, sometimes they get you off guard, and they can ask you a question leaning towards a certain answer. So instead of you just arguing with them, give them an answer they want to hear. So on that interview I gave someone an answer they wanted to hear. Because I knew what they wanted to ask. They wanted to ask, now umeseparate na huyu, unataka dem anakaa hivyo exactly, ama yeye ndo type. So I was just like, let me give them an off. Yeah. So I gave someone an answer they wanted to hear. And it trended because of that. Yeah. So I know what to say and what not to say. Right now, no one knows.
Wewe na mapenzi mko the same WhatsApp group sahi. Kama kila mtu alidisappear na
you know, the interesting part is that right now people don't know exactly where Owen is.
No, we know you have a kid. But since umesema I will not put my kids, I already know. I already know from that sentence. I knew Owen. Kuna mtu ameongezeka whether by birth or adoption. Hiyo sentence haikuripita.
So what I'm saying, right now where I live, no one knows my person. I learned the hard way. So right now I'm just like, let me live in peace. But I have a lot of peace. And no one knows my love life. People don't know if I'm dating or I'm not dating.
I think that is a thing you do in your 20s and then now you live a nice life in secret.
Yes. Sasa hii, people don't know if I'm married or I'm not married. Yeah. So
hata jaba ring kutu.
Sasa hata sasa nikioa tena ama kama nitaoa tena ama kama nimeoa tena. Sasa ring. I'm telling you, I'm just keeping everything under the wraps because it gives me a lot of peace and it gives even the partner a lot of peace. Yeah.
Major lesson from your divorce.
There's so many things. I always say change is imminent. People change. That's the most weird thing that I came to discover. One thing I learned is that when you marry someone, or this is what they say in psychology, nimefanya hizo vitu sana sana nilifundishwa. In psychology they were taught that once a man marries a woman, they dream that this woman will not change. But the woman dreams that this man will change. Mostly.
It depends.
Because you see, for women, you marry potential. Most of the time,
yes.
You marry potential.
Which we are not supposed to do, actually.
So women always tend to believe, huyu jamaa anakujanga saa 5 as we are dating. I pray, once I marry him, atakuwa anakuja saa 1. So they believe you're going to change.
Oh yeah, for the better.
For the better.
For the better.
You get, yeah? They believe huyu jamaa, for my security say ana 10,000, but naona potential yake huyu jamaa atakuwa na 100,000. Kisha more. So women naturally they are always prepared for change. Men, we are not prepared for change,
which is actually a change of upgrade.
Yes.
Not necessarily a change of downgrade.
No, downgrade. Mostly upgrade. Let's just purely upgrade.
Yes.
Because there's something called hypergamy. Women are hypergamous.
Yes.
Men, if you ask most men, is apart from societal pressure and all that, most men will always will always want to marry a basic woman. Very simple. Most men. Because there's a tendency of men marrying down. Women
it's actually
marrying higher.
Yes.
You get it? So when you're talking about marrying down, we're talking about a basic lady. Not even someone who is either down or at your level. Mostly. For men.
Yeah.
We have a few who decide to marry higher and all that. So right now I'm aware of that. That change happens.
Yeah.
Either because we are a product of nature and nurture. Nurture is our environment. Your environment alone can make you change even your behaviors. Nurture is more of your age. In your 20s, you used to reason differently. In your 30s, you reason differently. So maybe I married you when you are thinking differently. Now you think differently. So
even before kids and after kids, totally different.
Yes. So as a man, you need to be ready for those
changes.
They can be drastic, but it's still change. So you need to be prepared for change. Because most men, the first thing you discuss with them, they'll tell you, hey, udem may change. That's the first thing they tell you. Most men, they always say, hey, udem nikimdate alikuwa tu mpoa. Sasa nimemoa tu hivi. Vitu zimechange. And it's because everything has milestones. Even wedding is a milestone for a woman.
Yeah.
Having kids is a milestone for a woman. New job is a milestone for a woman. So all these things are milestones. And milestones make us change. That's why even in children wasikia, a milestone ni ameanza kutembea. A milestone ni ameanza kuongea. That's a milestone.
Yes.
So milestones happen in different stages of our lives. So as a man, before you get married, you need to understand that thing. No one should lie to you that this woman that you're looking at right now will remain the same. Things change.
It's a lie.
And they change because of nature and nurture. Environment alone can change this woman. You get?
Yes.
Even other milestones can still change this woman. So that's number one. Number two, the Bible says, and this is very controversial now. It's you see Bible inasemanga. So no one should mtu asintupie mawe because Bible inasemanga the gospel according to John, the gospel according to Mark,
according to Paul.
Yeah. So mimi ndakupeana according to my understanding. The Bible says, men, you should love your wives.
Yes.
Women, you should be
respectful
and submissive.
Yes.
To your men. My understanding is love comes naturally in women and respect comes naturally in men. Men, you get
interchangeable.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
You see, ushaona CEO ameingia mahali bodyguard amekuja, men are always just naturally they're very respectful.
Yes.
Hata kama ni mwana mwenzako utaona kuja msalimia, piga salute. It's natural. It's just natural, yeah?
Yes.
In us. And women are just wanapenda love. Madem wanapenda love.
Yes, yes.
Women love to be loved. Women are always when it comes to the love language, women have definition of everything when it comes to love.
Yes.
Yet men is very different. So the reason why God tells a man you should love a woman is because it's not natural for you. It's really hard.
Yes, it's not in
you. Yeah,
in you.
So it's really, really hard. Because for us, we don't have that love language. For us, we're not. Most men, we are mostly logical, not emotional. Women are mostly emotional.
Yes.
So for us, we're just logical.
But also the respect part, we lack.
So women now lack that part.
Yes.
Because even in the Bible, in the Garden of Eden, the devil went to the woman because alijua it's so easy kuingiza huu box because huyu anatafuta status, anatafuta high rank. And you see, rank comes with respect.
Yeah.
You always feel like if I go up the rank, I'll be respected in the society. So akamwambia kula hii ndio utajua, ndio utafika, ndio. So a woman was like, because most probably woman alijipata ana feel already ako chini ya Adam already. Umeelewa?
But at that point,
yes,
she was made as a helper.
Yes.
Hapo hierarchy haiko imedefiniwa.
Ilikuwa kwa defined because the moment you're coming to help someone,
haikukuwa stipulated.
Ilikuwa very stipulated. Let me tell you why. Yeah. Because the moment you're coming to help someone, umeshaambiwa umekuja kusaidia huyo mtu. Inamaanisha ni vision na purpose ya huyo mtu wewe unakuja ku-attach to. Is not your vision and your purpose. Umeelewa? Because the moment someone is your helper, is helping you to attain something. The attaining of the thing is who mtu asha create.
Yes, the one who was created for.
You get?
But what I'm saying now, when it was really stipulated is after the fall, when what the snake was told, he's gonna be there was gonna be an enmity between the snake and the woman, and the woman will always want to be above the man, but will never.
You see,
so hapo iko.
Let me tell you something.
Directly
the woman
implicated.
Amesha kuja second. Do you know why? When Adam was asked by God, where are you?
While hiding.
Alafu akaulizwa, why are you hiding? Akasema nini? Because I'm naked. Akauliza, mmejuaje mko naked? What did Adam say? We ate the fruit. why
the woman
alisema nini is this new umeniletea siko naelewa so it means walikuwa shajua ameletwa hakukuwa hapo
of course Adam alijua hakuwa hapo
no even the woman umeelewa because the moment all these things were happening alikuwa shajua yeye alikuja after so the power rank is always
was already there
so going back to the point it's really hard even from the Garden of Eden for a woman to submit because you see the devil knew even if I go to Adam I don't need to you see once you are given everything there's no other thing that you need to be convinced to be given but once you're not being given everything you feel like I want to attain the things that I don't have
yes
so Adam alikuwa shajua his position ashajua amepewa everything I need anything more but the woman alikuwa ashajua because the devil already mind yake ajua huyu ndaka nimconvince you can be better than who you are
what if alikuwa danda na kujua
what if the devil was so cunning what if the devil was so cunning ada danda inamaanisha there's some superiority you're missing
yeah
so going back to my point being submissive for a woman is not natural
it's hard
it's really hard
it's hard
and that's why God gave us these tasks that a man you should love your woman and the woman should be submissive
and respectful
yes because it's really hard so this is one understanding that so many people don't get it before they get married that it should not be like you're playing a role it should be in you as a young person before you get married you need to understand all these things it's very important very very important so many people go to marriage with different mentality more so young men
how naive were you when you're getting married
I thought marriage is about love
actually hata mimi I thought so too
yeah I thought marriage is about love but I think for a man I don't know about ladies but I think for a man number one I always use the 4 P's number one before you get married and this is very controversial these guys will argue about it as a man don't get married because of love don't get married because of purpose you must know your purpose you must know your purpose you must define your purpose you must know your purpose it must be a milestone amongst your purpose and the same purpose is the vision that will give you a true north that once the helper is coming in there's already a true north for you there's already a compass where you're headed not that she's coming in and both of you don't know where you're going that's an ingredient for a nose that will crash disaster that's a time bomb so as a man you must know your purpose you must have a purpose you must have why am I here why did God create me because I always say every human being is on this planet earth to solve an existing problem so you must have a purpose so there's a purpose for you once your purpose is done you're gone so you must know your purpose you must define what's your purpose when she comes in she attaches to the purpose and this purpose now becomes like the family purpose
so it is now our purpose
it's our purpose it's our vision this is where we're headed as a family where are we headed because you must be the vision bearer you must create that vision where the family is headed because now the wife will attach to it and the kids will attach to it so the motives must be defined by this you get
yes
and that's the reason why if you look even at okay someone will argue about it they'll be like bana hiyo maybe tu umepata dude mwenye ni fala na nini but let's just be honest if you look at most let's use an example weird examples if you look at more successful like presidents nini all these people you'll discover their wives only attached to what
the partner is
you'll never hear the wife yake sijui anafanya sijui nini yes wife anatach to the
purpose.
Presidency to the you get and mostly even the billionaires, you'll hear the same stories. The Kina Melinda Gates attached to the foundation, they attached to what Bill Gates is doing. All these people attached to it. It's only that maybe when most of us cannot become successful to that level, that's where we need each other to support the family. But naturally, every man, that's why I told you, men most of the time marry lower. Because once they marry lower, if the vision is so clear, the woman will attach to it.
Will align.
And I've given you even Angalia Tasaid, our president, and all that. They support whatever the vision was already formulated by the elder, the leader of the family.
I'm curious to know, will you marry a power woman? Or can you marry a power woman? Whether she's stronger than you in financially or position-wise. So yeye anataka, yeye ni Kamala, wewe Mwatia unakuja kuattach kwa Kamala as first gentleman.
You see, when Kamala was Kamala was just a socialite.
Yes.
So before she became who she is, the guy was already a very rich person, the husband. So I know what you're saying. Yeah. It's easy to support your wife to become what they want to be, become powerful and all that. It's not wrong. It's not hard. But as we normally say, naturally, if we go by what nature dictates, how nature was created, you'll discover it's easier for a man to marry lower than a man to marry higher. But it's easier, it's natural for a woman to marry higher.
Yeah, that is
you get,
that is what is prescribed.
Yes, and it just comes naturally for them. It's easy. It's so easy for a woman to marry higher because hypergamy, the opposite is hypogamy or something. But hypergamy is real. It's normal. It's natural. So the moment you ask a man that question, that is like a very hard question for a man to answer. It's the same way it's really hard to ask a woman, can you marry lower? Most women will say, it's not as easy as...
But siningumu sana.
You get. So the same way for men is the same thing. But you see, the moment a man says they can't marry a power woman, they always feel like, kwani unajishuku na esteem yako. It's not about your esteem. It's not about kwani this man is not confident.
But what
it's not about being confident.
What if Kamala is aligned with you, but at the same time doing their own thing?
Doesn't say it's not hard, but I'm just saying naturally.
Naturally, yeah.
It's really hard for a man, naturally, even to marry a woman who you are at par. Naturally. There are cases which happens. All these special cases can happen. We are not disputing that because you see, sometimes akuna your formula exactly for, but there's what we call like a nature trail to it, whereby we can see this a formula that so many people are using. It's easy. Success stories may come out of this.
Yes.
So, number one, I just stipulated the first P, which a man, you must have your purpose.
Yes.
Number two, a man you must protect. Number three, a man you must provide. Number four, a man you must procreate. I'm not saying is all these things are natural. They'll have to happen, but those are the things that will drive you. Not all of us will be blessed by kids, but it's something that will drive you. Not all of us will be blessed by money to be able to provide, but it's something that will push you. Not all of us will be blessed by a really defined purpose, but it's something that should push you. Not all of us can be able, protecting. I mean, kwenda gym kupiga watu. There's so many ways you can protect, but not all of us. You can be in that position. You can say, now I can protect my family the way I want to. But those are the four basic P's I normally use to say. I talk to young people and tell them, you must have these 4 P's.
Nakumbuka Aziad alitrend sana on social media, especially X. Na ukaweka ile comment like, it is not only her, but most Kenyans are currently living beyond their means. What is your advice to musician artists who are living beyond their means?
Number one, like I said earlier, financial literacy is very important. That should be done. I saw yesterday there was a meeting about digital creatives meeting. They have their own association. I hope in this association they'll start teaching people such things. Because hata juzi nimekuwa na one of the celebrities ananiambia, influencers ananiambia, they're really struggling. Comes, why are you struggling? Ananiambia, the moment gava iliaka nini on betting, now betting companies cannot advertise. Now they're not paying us.
Oh yeah, by the way.
You get it? And I was like, wow. So it's as simple as such, just one switch and then you go back to zero. Yeah. So there must be financial literacy. If there are circles, such things. Artists and celebrities and influencers, most of them don't understand these things like circles. They don't understand these things like savings. They don't understand money market. They don't understand funds, bonds. They don't understand all these things. The investment language does not come naturally. And it's something that is very scary. Considering the amount of money so many celebrities wanga wanashika at a go, it's scary. So like I said on my caption, so many guys live beyond their means. And it's because of the pressure of you want to prove something. Once you discover in life you don't need to prove anything to anyone, you live a very simple, healthy, peaceful life. And that's the life I live right now. Now, no one knows which car I drive nowadays. No one knows where I live nowadays. Kitambo, everyone used to know that Owen lives in Lavington, that Owen is driving BMW, a Pajero, and all those things. Nowadays, no one knows which car I drive. No one knows where I live. No one knows who I live with. No one knows all those things. I discovered that. And right now, even if I lack something, it's so easy for me to conform without the highlights. Because you see, the problem in celebrities, the first thing, like I told you, workshop at 200,000, and then anachukua nyumba 100,000.
Umeupgrade so fast.
Mapicha, watu wanajua pale anaishi. So the moment anakosa 100,000, betting imekuja imeweka hiyo kitu, imefanya ile kitu, inabidi you need to change and tweak kidogo and move down kidogo and maybe go to a house of 20,000. Sasa uwezi move to 20,000. Itabidi uanza kukopa to maintain that life. And it's sad. We need to have, I'll keep on pushing. If there's only one thing guys will get out of this podcast is financial literacy must be taught to our celebrities. They need to understand financial literacy because most of Kenyan celebrities, they end up getting a lot of money without going through the natural way of earning, spending. Yes.
They're not even given a chance to learn so quick.
Yeah, umetoka tu nyuma mama yako umepigwa endorsement 300,000, 500,000, 1 million.
Unajiona hasa.
But you see normal guys, mtu ameenda campus, amejua how to survive in campus. Ametoka campus, ameenda amechukua kanyumba ka one bedroom in Rongai, anajua how to live within 10,000, amefanya job ya sales ama amepata attachment, analipwa kama 15k, anajua how to live within the 15k for like 1 year before I move to 20,000, before I move to 50,000, before I move to 100,000. So by the time anafika 300,000, ashajua how to live within their means. But you see celebrity, umetoka tu kwako, these kids unapata siku hizi mtoto wako tu TikTok. Kidogo unasikia ako na nyumba Kilimani.
But unajua hawa watu wa normal jobs, it's easier to adapt.
Yeah, it's easier to adapt.
Because umeanza 10, uko 300, you know how to switch it.
Umeshaishi na 5,000, unajua how to live with 5,000. Ushaishi na 10,000, unajua mtoto hajui kuishi na 10,000 because ametoka nyuma mama yake amepewa 100,000. Hajui what is 10,000. Na amepewa 100,000 for like 3 months, anaona ameshafika. The first thing ananunua gari, amenunua BMW, amenunua Audi. Even maintaining that Audi is not a joke.
Shida.
Yeah. So financial literacy is very important because we don't go through normal life sequence like anyone who's working on a normal job. Yeah.
Lastly, najua tumeongea sana. You called the government to put up a monument for Kiptum, our fallen athlete.
Yeah.
Follow up na hizo ministry ama uliwaachia tu hapo kwa post?
Yeah, I spoke to some because right now I'm privileged enough to be in contact with some of these guys. I spoke to them about the same thing, but the idea was very different from what I was thinking. For them, they're like, we need to put it in someone like Eldoret. I was like, it's okay, but you see, there's no policies for such things, because that is more of goodwill. Yeah, so it's more of goodwill, and I hope we can push it for it to happen, because that's an icon, man.
Yeah,
that's just not an ordinary person. That's an icon, an icon that, you see, if you're not careful in the next 5 years, but he did great things than even the guys who we see names barabara zinanemiwa about. Unaelewa? So we need to even have either a monument or even a road named after him. Yeah, that's a world record holder. Yeah. And it's good umenikumbusha. Ndai push. So sahi and make sure nimecall my friends akina Moro kama inauliza bro unaendaje? Yeah. Yeah.
Thank you so much for hanging out with me.
I hope nimejua maswali zote.
Yes. Na uko na story mingi, so we need to do a part 2.
Haina shida. Mimi niko ready.
Yes.
I'm always ready, and thank you so much for this opportunity. You're doing a good job.
Thank you.
And I've known you for so many years, and I believe you're on the right track. You're headed to the right direction. Yeah. I saw your show and I was like, this is very impressive. And I love podcasts because they give you time. And more so, I love your podcast because you're experienced enough. You've been in the media for so long, and you're experienced enough to know that there's some question you can ask, others you can ask. Apart from that, you make someone feel very comfortable.
But I also like to, people like provoke. To do interviews that it's all about popularity.
No.
Like, as long as you're an artist, I want to know more about you.
No, it's fine.
It's
fine.
Clickbaits tutafanya, but
then you can ask me any question.
I still want to know who is Owen beyond.
I'm always maybe there's no question that naweza kwambia usiniulize.
I know.
Ask me anything.
Umejibu zangu zote.
Yes.
And you know that they were 21.
No. 21 questions gani 50 cent. So
yes, 50 cents in the making.
So another thing, let me give you flowers. There's a time I was in a really bad state. You really helped me, and may God bless you for that. I was in a very, very bad state, and I will always appreciate you for that. You don't know how much you changed my life, but may God bless you.
Oh, usinifanye nilie.
Go sawa. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for this opportunity. Thank you so much for your time, and I appreciate even coming here. I've really enjoyed this interview. Hata sioni kama time imeenda.
Karibu tena.
Asante.
Thank you guys for watching. See you guys on the next one. Kwaheri.